Lagos with a bachelor's degree in educational foundation. Please, all the interns here, let's give a round of applause in the chat box. Let's welcome our speaker. Let's give some clapping reactions as we welcome our speaker for today. So you are very welcome, and we're very happy to have you here with us. And we're all eager to learn from everything that you have to pour out to us today. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much. So I didn't get your name.
Grace Akikewa, I'm the moderator for today.
Okay, hi Grace. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay. I shared the slide. I don't know if you can help with. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can you put it in the slideshow so that it's more vivid, because I can hardly see the smaller text. Okay, while she's working on displaying it on a slideshow, my name is Mayowa Tomori, as she has rightfully introduced. I'm an HR professional, and I have been in the HR space for quite some time. And today, like she has introduced, I'm giving us insights into how to build an effective CV, not just an effective CV, and a CV that can give us the required job, a CV that can place us in the job market, or that can make us more competent in a competitive job market. Now, before we dive into the slide, everybody knows that in today's rapidly evolving digital economy, the job opportunities have become more slimmer. And for you to thrive in this kind of economy, you have to get this competency level. You need to get to a competency level that is very significant and that is unique. And for you to show your hiring managers or your recruiters that you have the requirements needed for the job, there is a need to craft a compelling CV. Now, a compelling CV is the one that effectively showcases your knowledge, effectively showcases your skills, effectively showcases your adaptability to digital advancements in this competitive job market. Okay, the slide is back on. In this competitive job market. Now, the digital economy is demanding for unique blends of technical proficiencies, innovative thinking, and continuous learning. Now, throughout the display of this slide, there is one thing that you continuously hear me say, which is more into continuous build of your CV would help you to track your growth process, right? So that's one of the advantages of having an effective CV. Now, whether you are a seasoned professional, I know I'm speaking to lawyers, both lawyers who are already seasoned professionals and those who are just starting their careers. Now, it is important for you to understand the essential skills and competencies that are required in this particular era, to be able to leverage on the advantages of this particular training so as to break through in this competitive job market. Now, as displayed on the screen, a few objectives of our training today is the participants are expected to understand the purpose of a CV, very important. They're expected to learn the effective writing strategies, right? They are also expected to master CV content creation, enhance CV design and presentation, customize CVs for different roles and industries, and address common concerns and misconceptions. Can you move to the next slide, please? Okay, so as displayed, you can see that we are covering major topics that would help you to gain mastery of how to build an effective CV. Now, the first topic that we'll be speaking into is introduction into CV writing, the different CV formats and styles, the structure of an effective CV, writing an effective CV that reflects your knowledge and skills in light of digitization. Now, this particular training is structured in such a way that it helps you to understand that the world has been reformed from the traditional method of doing things into a more digitalized method of doing things. So we are going to be looking through how to create an effective CV that will help you to display your skills to your recruiters. Another topic we'll be looking at is the risk of sharing personal information. No, please stay on that. Yeah. Risk of sharing personal information on job portals, understanding the importance of CV customization, design and presentation, common misconception, which is part of the objectives, and then the pitfalls and mistakes to avoid. You can move to the next slide. One more. Okay, so what is a CV? I don't know if I can ask the participants if they can respond. Sorry, Grace, can I ask questions during this seminar?
Yes, you are free to ask. You can ask.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, Grace. So I just want to gain insight into your current knowledge of what a CV is and what the participants understand about the definitions of a CV. So can anybody help me with what a CV is? To your best knowledge, it doesn't need to be too perfect. I don't need perfection. I just want to understand your level of knowledge on the particular topic. Somebody is in the chat
Please
box.
raise your hand if you want to speak so I can unmute you.
I think there's a message that dropped in the chat box.
Okay, I'm seeing
Okay,
someone,
two people.
The first person, who was the first? Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead, Favor.
Okay, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Favor.
So for me, a CV means a curriculum vitae, and it tells someone about your professional. What it also says as your career record and helps to demonstrate.
Thank you very much. That was beautifully said. So I'm seeing some responses in the chat box. Thank you, everyone. Beautiful responses. The CV is a document showing a person's qualification with respect to the job. Okay, fantastically said. A CV contains your achievements and education. A CV is a document that highlights your education. Okay, curriculum vitae is an overview of job experience. All right, if I want to start reading everybody's responses, it will take us a long time. But we are all correct, right? We are giving an insight into what a CV actually is, right? So let us go all the way back to when the whole CV thing started. I don't know if anybody knows of this popular engineer and artist. He's a philosopher, the man that painted the popularly known Mona Lisa and the Last Supper. So the CV, the first documented CV was in the 15th century, right? 1482 to be precise. It was by Leonardo da Vinci. Now, this recording or this particular document recorded his skills and in engineering and art, right? The document was sent to the Duke of Milan for the purpose of him to be able to see, because there was I will call it a project that he was supposed to work on for the Duke of Milan. So for him to sell himself to the Duke of Milan, he had to prior send a document to the Duke of Milan, which was portraying his skills in engineering and also in art. So that was the first ever documented CV. It wasn't a CV at that time. It was just like an expression of a comprehensive, should I call it a self-appraisal now? Now, over time, the CV has evolved from being a letter or a document to a lifestyle or an ecosystem that displays a person's profession. So everyone has brilliantly defined what a CV is. Can we go to the next slide, please, Grace? Everyone has perfectly designed what a CV is. Now, a CV is a document that summarizes your job profession, it summarizes your academic journey, it summarizes your skills, it summarizes everything that you want your recruiter to know, right? So now let's look into a few of the importance of a well-crafted CV. The first thing that I want us to actually know today is that a well-crafted CV helps to relay a proper first impression to your recruiter. Now, what do I mean when I say a first impression? A first impression being that it's the first thing that your recruiter sees or your employer sees, right? A well-crafted CV can make a positive impression and increase your chances of getting selected for an interview. This means that you get to, if for example, you are applying for, let's say, people who are more seasoned, professionally seasoned, you're applying for the position of or team lead or senior legal officer or company secretariat, the recruiter doesn't get to meet with you. The recruiter doesn't get to talk to you. The recruiter doesn't get to see your face. They don't know if you're beautiful or if you have nice teeth or if your eyebrows are well shaped or your lashes are long as can be. They don't know who you are, right? So a well-crafted CV is a representation of yourself to your prospective employer. Now, if as a recruiter I open your CV and it is properly displaying the things that I need to see, right? Because there are some things that recruiters check in each CVs that are being spooled and vetted. Now, the ones that catches their attention are the ones that are properly crafted, the ones that catches the attention of the recruiter are the ones that demonstrate professionalism and attention to details. Attention to details meaning that you select or display the requirements needed by the employer. So if the employer says, oh, I need a legal advisor who is good, who has completed 50% of document drafting, who has won 30% of all of his cases, or 60% of all of his cases rather, and you want to apply for that kind of job, right? Seeing that you have read this particular requirement, it will now be on you as an applicant to set or craft your CV to demonstrate the required need of the employer, because each employer's to them their needs, right? You cannot have company ABC or company XYZ needing the same thing, even for a team lead, legal advisor or whatever. Even if the title is the same, their needs are different, because for us in the HR sector, before we go ahead to create job posting, we conduct something that is called the need analysis, job needs analysis, right? It is from the job needs analysis that we now create a post designing a proper job description. Now, in this job description is what you would now select as an applicant to win the attention of the recruiter. So, like the first thing says, first impression is very important. The next thing is the personal branding. In personal branding, you're trying to create a unique identity. You are trying to create a unique identity across different platforms, right? Unique identity in the sense that when they see it, they know that, okay, this person is a professional in his field or a professional in her field, right? Now, a personal branding here, it allows you to highlight your unique strengths. It allows you to highlight your unique experiences and your values. Because trust me, even if two of you graduate from the same university, let's say University of Lagos or University of Oxford or Oxford University, studying the same course, you guys would have different strengths, different experience, different values. Personal branding here speaks to keeping up to consistency across different platforms. Now, remember in the previous explanation with first impression, I said something about to different organizations to their needs, right? They have different needs. Now, personal branding, if you want to apply to 3 different organizations, for example, personal branding means you keep the same consistency in terms of professionalism. So it's not like as if you are sending, or let's use the big fours, for example, right? We have Deloitte, we have E&Y, we have KPMG. I've forgotten the name of the last one, right? So we now say, because they are the big four, you now design your CV to be properly done. You put in nice fonts, less errors. Matter of fact, 0 errors. You now want to apply for companies that are not in the big four. Instead of you to keep that same consistency going, you now say, okay, let me just use one that I applied 2 years ago to apply for this same role. So regardless of how big an organization is or how small the organization is, consistency is key. Consistency in professionalism is key. Now, in this same mind, you need to understand the benefits of aligning your CVs with your career goals, right? So that's personal branding in one term, right? Another importance of a well-crafted CV is quick access to suitability. Quick access to suitability here means that it becomes efficient for recruiters, right? Recruiters take less than 10 to 15 seconds to review your CV. I would not stress myself as an HR professional or as a recruiter to go through a CV that is 5 pages. And in the first 3 pages, all I'm seeing are things that are not even required, things that are not even needed to be in your CV. I'm seeing that, oh, you have traveled to America to complete a training on Microsoft Excel. You have traveled to India to complete a training on self-development. Those trainings are necessary, they are needed. But that's not what is required to be in your CV for the particular need of the organization. Remember, you need to design or craft your CV to fit the need of the organization. Now, the quick access to suitability here speaks to targeted content, right? Targeted content means that you are tailoring your CV to the specific job. You keep hearing this over and over and over again. Each job, their needs are different, right? So it is now left to you to highlight the most relevant skills and experience that are in alignment to the job description. Now, it makes it easier for your recruiter to be able to spool through and pick your CVs, because there's a difference between a pipeline and a pool, right? A pipeline of CVs are the ones that are coming through the spooling process to the recruiter's table. Now, a pool is a set of CVs that the recruiter has already vetted and kept aside, because if you don't need them now, you might need them later. Do you understand? So for you to leave the pool to come to the pipeline and get to the employer's table, your CV needs to be well crafted. It needs to gain the attention of your recruiter, right? Another importance rather to a well-crafted CV is a CV that highlights achievements, right? You need to demonstrate your impact. Your CV needs to build credibility. It needs to also be the type that is engaging. And when it comes to highlighting achievements, you need to specifically design it to be numeric. Your achievements need to be in numeric form. For example, you manage the team, a team of 10, leading to 15% increase in project completion rates and 10% reduction in cost. Simple as ABC. You can see that I have already used an action verb, and in my highlight of achievements, they are numeric. Numeric in the sense that it gives the recruiter ease to use metrics to rate your values. I don't know if that is clear. If you don't understand something I just explained, please let me know so I can go over it. Is that clear? Please, I want us to be conversational. If you have a problem, if you're not understanding something, just drop it in the chat box for me to go over again. Okay, thank you very much, Abigail. Okay, somebody says she doesn't understand the last part, which speaks to highlighting of achievement. Now, when I'm speaking to highlighting of achievement, I'm saying that your achievement in the period, let's say as a seasoned lawyer or as a seasoned professional, what are the achievements that you've acquired in your line of professionalism? So if it is that you have won 20 cases, you've gotten engaged in 20 cases and won 13, that's an achievement. right? So when you impute it in your CV, you don't put it as I want cases and which led to the person getting, I don't know, I'm not good with so much legal balances, but when you display your achievements on your CV, it needs to be in action verb. Action verb meaning that words like adopted, managed, displayed, and so on and so forth. And when you are displaying this, it needs to be in numeric value. Like the example that I gave, I'll say it again. Example, managed a team of 10, leading to 15% increase. You can see the difference now. You can see that this particular statement now is speaking to value. It's speaking to numbers, because most of the times employers or your recruiters most likely love to see numbers and percentages, right? So manage the team of 10 speaks that you are functioned as a team lead. So you can apply to the position of a team lead or a head of legal, leading a 15% increase in project completion. So now they can tell that, okay, probably out of 30 or out of 20% rather, you have acquired an increase of 15% in project completion rates and a 10% reduction in cost. So the reason why I say it points to numeric value, you can keep the slide here, Grace, so that we don't go, no, keep it on that the one after is, yes, purpose of a CV in career development. Thank you. So the reason why I'm saying you need to highlight your achievement is that the need of a particular employer is peculiar, right? The need of a particular employer is peculiar. So for you to design a proper CV, you need to let them know, right, that things that you have achieved in the past is what they are in need of. So if I say I'm looking for somebody who has closed up 20 cases in the past, and you have closed up 20 cases, and in your CV you didn't impute it that you have successfully closed 20 cases, how does it help me as a recruiter to know that you as a candidate have the needs that is required by the organization? So that's where the highlighting of achievement comes in. If you're confused about the aspect of making it action verb-wise, there's another slide that shows examples of what an action verb is, and using numeric values. So using numeric values just means that state numbers in when you're highlighting your CV. Now we are going to be, I hope that's clear now. Sorry, I need to get my people's attention before I go ahead. Is that clear? For those who said not really, Oluwadamilare, Sekinat. Okay, thank you very much, Stephanie. Okay, thank you very much, guys. So we are going to be moving to the next module, which speaks to the purpose of a CV in career development. If you remember at the beginning of the entire training, the entire seminar, I spoke to the change in the dynamics of the job space. Now, the job space have become very constrained that it needs people with exceptional skills, people with the act of professionalism, people who have proper personal branding to break through. And how do you let your recruiter know that you have these things? Is by creating a properly crafted CV. Now, one of the major purpose of a CV in career development is that it serves as a dynamic tool for career development. Now, a CV isn't just a static document, just like I explained before. It is dynamic in the sense that it evolves with you as you grow, right? We are speaking to regular updating of your CV. If you are applying for a job in 2024, we all know that there are new tools, there are new, how do I put it, softwares. There are new softwares that are out there that even as a lawyer, you are required to be experienced in, right? If you have learned a particular skill in 2024, and you are bringing a CV from 2001 or 2020, 2001 is way too far, 2021, and you have done a lot of practice on yourself, you have achieved a lot of things, rather than going back to your CV on 2021 and editing it to display or portray the recently learned skills and achievements, you now apply to a job using your CV of 2021. The CV of 2021 will be displaying you as at 2021. CV as a dynamic tool for career development means that you are required to fall back to your CV, edit, proofread, and make it to portray your recent achievement and your recent skills. So as you grow in the line of job development or career-wise, your CV is meant to grow with you. If your CV started on one page that is showing you as an intern, you have become the head of legal now. If you want to apply for a job, it's not the CV that showed that you are an intern that you're going to use to apply. Your CV is meant to grow with you. As a dynamic tool of career development, your CV has to adapt to different market trends because it helps you to seize opportunities. Seize opportunities meaning that it is helping you to, be open to network opportunities. It is also helping you to ensure that you don't miss out on potential career needs and potential employee needs. So if you're applying to a job next after this, I know you've learned a lot during the whole learning of the blockchain and analytics and all of that. How you apply the things that you have learned, how you let your employers to know that you have learned this thing is by displaying it in your CV. So I don't expect that after this particular training or after this particular class, you will use the same CV before this cohort for applications after. So you will now be expected to change your CV to display all of the things that you've learned in this particular training so that it creates or it sets you aside from others in this competitive job market. Now, the next thing is self-assessment. What is self-assessment? Self-assessment is the process of evaluating yourself. Assessment also means evaluating. Remember in the previous pointer where I said dynamic as a dynamic tool for career development, the CV is meant to grow with you. So as you are going back to update your CV, you assess yourself. Okay, how do I track my progress? How do I identify my strengths and my weaknesses? Okay, I want to apply for, I have functioned as an intern for 4 years, and now I want to apply for a senior legal officer. What are the things that I need? The CV is what helps you to track those progress. If you check each applications, for example, or if you check each job post, you see job descriptions, you see requirements. Now, if you compare your CVs with the requirements that is posted by the employer, it helps you to now assess yourself and say, okay, they're requesting for somebody who has this certificate, and they're requesting for people who have 5 years of experience in probably a financial space. And now you compare their need to your CV. If it is something that you don't have, you understand that you are required to build yourself to fit into that particular role. So if you don't have the requirement of the requirements needed by the organization, you can now say to yourself that, okay, let me go back, learn this, and then come back to apply. So that's where a CV serves as a means of self-assessment. It helps you to evaluate your progress, right? Another thing is that it serves as a goal setter. Now, CV setting as a goal setter means that it is more of a roadmap for your career. It helps you to set a roadmap. It helps you to set goals. It helps you to create clarifying objectives. It helps you to benchmark achievement. Benchmark achievements comes in comparison, right? It helps you to compare against the market value, against what the market is requiring. So if as someone who is a professional in the legal space, you know what the market trend is. So after you have assessed your CV, you see what you need. You now begin to set a goal, right? Set a goal means that, okay, I need this particular certification and I have to get it before the end of the year so that I can be able to apply for certain roles. So if as a junior legal officer, you want to go into the field of a senior legal officer, there are things that you are required to do. So consistent updating of your CV, consistent self-evaluation is what helps you to set a goal, right? Let's say, for example, now, if your goal is to move into a leadership role, let's say in the next 2 years as an intern, your CV is what will help you to identify your experiences and the skills that you need to acquire before attaining that particular leadership role. I don't know if that's clear. Now, moving to the next one that says professional development. Professional development here speaks to documentation of learning, encouragement of lifelong learning. Let me give you an example. Now, if you add recent certification, like I explained before, if you've learned new things in 2024, you need to include it in your CV. Now, as you have conducted this particular cohort, right? Any skill that has been attained, any skill that has been gotten in this particular session, you need to demonstrate them in your CV, right? Now, your proactive approach, your CV now is going to be serving as a proactive approach to learning and adapting to new industry trends. Now, this particular segment is opening our eyes to the need to consistently grow. If you see the icon, I love this icon because it shows someone that is climbing up a mountain, right? You understand that CV is a dynamic tool for career development, which one way or the other helps you to assess yourself. In the process of assessing yourself, you are setting a goal. In the process of setting a goal, you are developing yourself professionally. So you can see that the person is climbing from the bottom to the top. So if you're looking to grow in your profession, learning is very important. After learning, you need to let your employers know that you've learned that thing. So that's where CV comes in. Now, the last thing here is personal branding. I've explained that before. You need to communicate unique values. You need to remain consistent between platforms, right? You need to be consistent between platforms. Please, can you go to the next slide? So I hope that explanation is clear. Before we move on to process or method of formatting and styling, I need us to be quick with our responses. Is that clear? Do you need me to reiterate what has been previously said? All right, thank you very much, Victory. Thank you, Anne. Dara, Simi, Elizabeth, I see you as well. All right, thank you very much, everyone. So now we'll be moving to CV formatting and styling. I know this topic might be new to you, and that's why I'm here to help you understand it better. So in the process of CV formatting and styling, we have 5 styles. We have the chronological CV, we have the functional CV, we have the combination CV, which is a combination of both chronological and functional. We have targeted, and we have infography and visuals. Now, as a recruiter, I can tell you that most of the CVs that I have seen have a combination of the chronological, functional, and targeted. Now, as you can see in the chronological CV, the definition of a chronological CV is that it is a reverse chronological, it's also known as a reverse chronological CV, and is organized in reverse chronological order, which means a list from most recent work experience, then all the way backwards. So for those of you who used to design your CV and start from 2020, like the first page, right? We are going to be seeing an example of a properly written CV here. So if your first page is not showing us your most recent employment, then you are doing it wrong. Now, this reverse chronological CV means that you have to start from the most recent to the least recent. Chronological order is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? Reverse chronological order is 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So that's how your experience is meant to be displayed or portrayed on your CV. Now, can we go to the next one, which is the functional CV? Grace, are you there? All right, thank you very much. Now, a functional CV is a CV that focuses on skills and your competencies rather than chronological work history, right? Now, the reason why I say I don't want to go through the whole definition thing because it will take a lot of our time. I think this slide will be shared to everyone so that we can go ahead and read to understand the differences. Now, the reason why I say most CVs are a can you take the slide to targeted CV? Yes, thank you very much. Now, the reason why I say no targeted, the reason why I say most CVs are designed to no, Grace, can you go back to targeted CV? Yes, it's fine like this. Yes. So the reason why I say most CVs are a combination of chronological, functional, and targeted CV is that your CV is expected to be designed in reverse chronological order and is also meant to be functional. Functional in the sense that it focuses on the skills and competencies that are required, right? And it is also meant to be targeted. Targeted means that your CV is customized for a specific job or a particular industry. Now, remember that I previously said the CV that you're going to use to apply for Ernst & Young is not the same, it's not going to be carrying the same skills and achievement that you'll be using to apply for, let's say, Deloitte, for example. The need of each employer is different. All you need to do is tap into the requirements of each of the employer and change whatever you need to change in your CV. Tailor whatever you need to, change whatever you need to change in your CV to be tailored to the need of the employer. I don't know if that makes sense. As you can see here, he's saying tailoring content to align with the requirements and preferences outlined in the job description. That's why I always tell applicants, don't miss out on job descriptions. Don't just open a job post and say, oh, they're looking for team lead. They go, oh, I have 5 years of experience now. Let me just quickly apply. Let me send my CV. Right? It is important that you go through the job descriptions. The job description would give you insights into the need of the organization. The job description will give you insight into the requirements. Now, when you now format and style your CV to the need of the organization, tell me why they would not call you. Tell me why you would not leave the pool into the pipeline and from the pipeline into being scheduled for an interview. That's why you have people that you keep applying, and you will not get a feedback. That's because you are missing something, right? Now, the purpose of this particular training is to open your eyes into gaining insight as to how major operations work in this day employment, right? You need to know, again, focus on job descriptions and job requirements, and it will help you in understanding how to design your CV. Grace, you can move forward to the CV design. Essential components of a CV. I want us to look into this particular field because it will help you to, we'll go little by little. Let's start from personal information. You can go back. Thank you very much. Now, as you can see, this person's information is properly written, clear, no ambiguity, no use of big grammar, nothing. His name, his profession, you can already tell that this man is a criminal lawyer. So if he automatically applies for an opening of a team lead criminal law, his CV is definitely going to be opened, right? And you can see his contacts. The reasons why will require you to put in your contact is because imagine you are applying for a job and the only thing that you put there is your email. Trust me, like we said in the importance of an effective CV, it's if your CV is effectively written, just like this one, it creates ease for your recruiter. Trust me, as a recruiter, I don't want to know how many certificates you have. If your CV stresses me, I'm dropping it. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. If your CV would make me need to, like this, the reason why I'm speaking to this personal information is that imagine if he didn't have his phone number and I need certain information from you, right? I know most times we will tell you, oh, don't put your class of degree in your CV, don't put your age, don't put your marital status because they are unnecessary information. Some employers would need to know. I'm not saying put it, don't put it. It is very wrong for you to put it in your CV. But when it comes to CV analysis, recruiters will always reach out to you and ask, oh, how old are you? What are your certifications? What are these? What are that? Because we are trying to keep away from discriminations when it comes to applications. So the purpose of you putting all these details is so that you are accessible. So now imagine if you are applying for a job and I can't reach you. How are you supposed to get the job if you are unreachable? So it becomes easy. Okay, thank you, Grace, for that response. So it becomes easy to reach you. Now you can see this person has put in his phone number, his email, surajparatap@gmail.com. He's also put in his LinkedIn profile. So before you put in your LinkedIn profile, please make sure your LinkedIn is properly done. Don't have a scattered LinkedIn and put in your LinkedIn profile in your CV because employers would access it. And once they see your LinkedIn is not properly done, your likeness is not in tandem with what the employer needs, because from a person's LinkedIn account, you can tell the person's value. Your value proposition is easily seen from your LinkedIn account. If you check my LinkedIn account now, for example, you can tell that, oh, this person is a recruiter and an HR analyst because of the things that I post. So if you are applying for criminal law, for example, and I open your CV, everything I'm seeing there is a type of video that is uploaded by content creators, all these funny videos, share this with 1,000 people and get 2 million, all those kind of scam and spam kind of posts. It tells me that your value proposition is lesser than the requirement of the organization. So can we go to the next one? So that's the purpose of the personal information. That's the first aspect, right? Personal information and professional summary. A professional summary is a breakdown, a summary of your profession, just as it is, right? As you can see here, it says LLB graduates with specialization in criminology, knowledge of advancement in criminal law with skills in research and drafting legal documents. Now you can tell already from this particular professional summary that this person is good with criminal law and has skills in research and the drafting of legal documents. So the professional summary is just an aspect of your CV. It's not supposed to be more than 3 lines, maximum 4 lines, right? It is an aspect of your CV that shows your profession. I'm an HR person. I'm an HR person that understands HR analytics. I've used HR tools to help to understand the aspects of my employers. I'm standing as an intermediary between my employers and my employee. I make sure that my employees are, competent enough for the work. That's my professional summary, right? As brief as possible. And then my employers, when they want to, if I'm applying for a job, for example, the first thing they see is my professional summary. From my professional summary, they can tell the kind of person that I am. Do you understand? So it's meant to be as brief as possible. Can we go to the educational background? Thank you. So you can see that how this particular educational background is written. So please, when you are designing your CV, you need to make use of bullet points and headers. From this particular slide, you can easily tell that this person studied criminal law in Sri Ram Law Institute. Easy as ABC, right? And then the bulletin point is stating that the person passed with distinction. I know in Nigeria we have first class, second class, first, second class, upper, second class, lower, third class. You could also include that in your CV as well. So you need to make use of white spaces and make sure that your texts are clearly written. Right? So I don't know if we've passed it, but anyways, your texts, right? They need to be the same all through. If you are using a particular font for your headers, leave that text font and text size for all headers. If you are using a different font for your bullet points, leave that same font and font size for your bullet points. And as you can see here, the person also has his year of academic, what's it called? Academic background, educational background. He has each of the year, 2019, 2014, and 2012. So the purpose of this particular educational background is that it helps you to list your educational qualifications, your degrees. You can also add certifications as well and courseworks. So if you're designing your CV and you want to insert things that you've learned, or if you want to insert this particular quote, for example, you can put it here. You can relabel it as education and certifications. Either that, or you have another segment or another section that displays your certifications. Can we go to the work experience? Can we, yeah. Okay, thank you very much. So now you can see that this person has professional enhancement and then work experience. If you check the years, you can see automatically that this person has designed the CV in reverse chronological order. January 18, I'm sure this particular CV was designed in 2018. The most recent is 2018. The next recent is 2016. And then the least recent is 2015. Now, the reason why I'm saying this one helps you, CV helps you to track your progression in your career. You can see this person started as an assistant intern, then moved to intern, is now a research intern. So by viewing this, you can tell that this person has career advancement starting from 2015. 2015, 2016, 1 year, he has moved to internship. From 2016 to 2018, 2 years. He became a research intern in first class legal associate. So the more you review your CV, the more you are able to track your professional growth. Trust me, I know a lot of people that will say, "Oh, I've not grown to my own need. I've not grown. I'm not seeing any development." Go back and check your CV. I promise you, you would be impressed. Go back and check your CV. If your CV is updated, go back and check your CV, and you will see how far you have come. If your CV is updated and properly crafted, it helps you to build confidence in yourself. That's another thing I should have included, that it helps you to build confidence in yourself, because the more confidence you have in yourself, the more confidence you have in acquiring that job, right? Most employers don't just need people that have the experience. They need people who are confident in themselves. So that's why I will constantly say that a properly written CV helps you to build your brand. A properly written CV helps to set you aside. A properly written CV also helps to create that sense of confidence in you. Right? Can we move to the next slide? So the next ones we have are skills and competence, then achievement. Right. So all of the projects that you have done, you can also include that. Your skills and achievements, you can also include that as well. Now, remember I said in the previous slides, your skills can be listed in bullet points, right? And make your skills tailored to the need of the organization. Please and please don't tell an employer who is seeking for a criminal law assistant or somebody who can serve as a team lead criminal law, don't give them skills that are unnecessary. As you can see this CV now, its skills states constitutional rights, case analysis and tracking, reporting and documentation, detail orientation, and legal research. You're not seeing Excel skills, you're not seeing Microsoft Word skills, you're not saying, okay, project management can work, right? Because every single thing you work with is a project. So we don't need to see skills that are unnecessary or skills that are not required. As stated here, this person already tells you that the skills that he has and is willing to bring on board are skills that are required for the job. Constitutional rights, case analysis and tracking, reporting and documentation, detail orientation, and legal research. So tell me which person in criminal, or which person is going to be functioning as a criminal lawyer who doesn't need all of these skills. So you need to understand that aspect as well. So your skills can both be functional and technological. Technological in the aspect of case analysis and tracking, technological in the aspect of let's say reporting and documentation. Is it technological or functional? Then functional can now be constitutional rights, detail orientation, and legal research. So I hope you understand how this CV is being built and how you will need to go back to your CV and rebuild it. I know this slide is going to be shared with you so that you can have an insight into how a proper CV is written. Is there anything else on this? Can we go to the next slide? So we still have a lot to discuss. Can we go to the next slide? Okay, so this is in one view. Now let's recap, right? Let's go back to the beginning. No, stay on that display. Can you go back? Yes. Let's stay on this display. Let's recap. First thing to appear, your personal information and professional summary, right? We've stated the importance of the both. The next thing you have is educational section. Educational section comes before professional enhancement or professional certifications, if you have any professional certifications. Then you have your experience. Remember, your experience is meant to be written in reverse chronological order, right? Then you have your project. Then you have skills and achievements. Then any other extracurricular activities. Now, extracurricular activities does not mean that you would mention that you enjoy to cycle, you enjoy reading books, you enjoy climbing rocks and all of those things. No, those are not the things that we are requesting you to include in your extracurricular, right? There are things that are one way or the other in sync with the need of the organization. So can we move to the next slide? Can we move to the next slide? All right. So just go until it shows us the complete listings. So now we have writing an effective CV. The first point we have is crafting a powerful professional summary, an objective statement. Now this segment, or this section rather, should succinctly summarize your qualifications. It should properly portray your career goals and display what you can offer to potential employers. Remember that I've always said, there are needs that are required of your potential employers. Now, the more powerful your professional summary is, the more you serve as the need, or the more you respond to the need of a potential employer, right? The next one is, can we move to the next point? We've seen how to design a professional summary. You see how brief and concise those words are. No ambiguous words, no jargon. You don't need the HR doesn't need to go online to search for what verb you are using, what action word you're using. So it's simple and straight to the point. The next thing is highlighting education and qualification. Now you are given the details of your educational background, including degrees, certification, relevant courseworks, and so on. So you must have checked your the job requirements and the job need of the employer before this is done. Can we go to the next one? I'm sure it has to do with work experience. Okay, yes. Showcase your work experience effectively. So this is like, can you go to the next slide? This is like a reiteration of what we have just recently seen, right? It's a reiteration of what we have just recently seen. So emphasis on skills and competencies is very important. I'm saying it over and over again. Emphasis on skills and competencies is very important because that's the first thing that we check. As a recruiter, that's the first thing I go to. Aside from checking your skills, let me give you an example. Recently, I put up a job post for a senior internal audit officer. Right, I had beautiful CVs, fantastic CVs. I'm telling you, people who had certifications, ICANN, ACA, ACCA, AAT, so on and so forth. They had a lot of certifications. I selected 5, which spoke to me the more because they had the requirements needed. Was it 5 or 10? Okay, I selected 10 first. Now, for me to now spool deeper, because trust me, I'm not going to take 10 CVs to my panelists to vet and review, right? So it was not left to me to now select 5. All I went to do was check the skills and the competence and achievement of the particular applicants. Syncing and comparing their skills and competencies to our need was what now helped me to streamline those CVs into 5 lists. Now, the reason why we are falling back to this particular statement is that sometimes employers don't use individual HRs, individual recruiters. They use ATS, applicant tracking system. In the process of emphasizing your skills and competencies, you speak to the ATS, and the ATS easily tracks your CV and sees keywords and puts them in the pipeline. So it becomes easy for the employer to select you. I don't know if I'm speaking sense, right? It becomes easy for them to see you and bring you in. Do you understand? Or select you as one of the prospective applicants. Can we go to the next one? I want to see if I can. Okay, thank you very much. Esusa. Now, these 3 bullet points that has just been displayed, use of action verbs. I've said that before now, and quantifiable achievement. Action verb here speaks to, we know what a verb is. A verb is an action word. Now, for it to not become an action verb means that it is a strong and quantifiable achievement. Now, let me give you an example of what an action verb is, right? You have terms like advocated, negotiated, drafted, litigated, reviewed, consulted, represented, advised. Okay, let me use. I have a few examples here. Let's use advocated, for example. Advocated for clients in complex litigation, securing favorable settlement in 75% of cases. It's just like the example I gave at the beginning. So at this particular point, your reviewer or your recruiter can already tell that you have advocation skills and you are able to secure a favorable settlement rate of 75%, which is really high. That's why I'm saying your achievement needs to be quantifiable. Quantifiable meaning that they need to, or your recruiter can put value to your achievement. So 75% of case means that out of 100, you did 75. You're able to secure a 75% case or settlement rather. So I don't know if that makes sense. So you have words like advised, you have words like investigated, you have words like presented. So those words are action verbs. And quantifiably, the act of quantifying means you're putting them in figures, right? Reviewed and analyzed over 500 pages of legal documents, identifying critical issues that strengthen case arguments. You can see how sweet and simple that is. No ambiguous words, right? I'm not using any extra. Nobody wants to know if you can speak good grammar. You don't need good grammar in, but that doesn't mean that you should forget to proofread or let off any type of wrong grammar in your CV writing. What I'm saying is that keep it simple and speak to your achievement. ATS compatibility here speak to the use of technological tools. Like I've said, the age of the recent ecosystem of job market or of the job market has shifted from the traditional method to a more technological method, right? And ATS means an applicant tracking system. I've said that before. Now, if your CV is not ATS compatible, then you might be thrown into the pool. Pool means that you are not even in the pipeline. So for you to get into the pipeline, which eventually gets to the table of the recruiter, your CV needs to be built as compatible to an applicant tracking system. How do you do this? We are referring back to the need of the organization. You see over and over and over again, I keep saying the need of the organization, the need of the organization, the need of the organization. It is because some organizations use these ATS. You have ATS systems like LinkedIn. You have ATS systems like Zoho Recruit. You have ATM system. Even Google Forms is an ATM system. Even Microsoft Forms is an ATS system. Do you understand? So once a recruiter says, oh, I need somebody who has 7 years of experience as a criminal lawyer, right? And I'm saying, let's say LinkedIn, for example. LinkedIn, full CVs of people that have 7 years of experience as a lawyer or a legal practitioner in a financial space, somebody who has a certificate as a BLL or LLB rather, a certificate or any further certification, a person who is goal-oriented, a person who has been able to close more than 60% of his cases or her cases, rather, whichever the case might be, right? I've put in that Boolean analysis into LinkedIn. Now, spool this CV for me. Now, mind you, these things that I have told or I'm telling LinkedIn to do for me is stated in my job description. I will not tell LinkedIn to spool a CV or to get compatible CVs according to what I have imputed into it if it is not the need of the organization. So this falls back to the need of the organization still. So if you check the descriptions, that's where you will see the needs. So for your CV to become compatible for even softwares, you have to follow the trend of the company you're applying for, right? If the value of the company you're applying for is innovativeness, if it is value addition, if it is, which other value proposition is there? There are a lot of value propositions, right? This speaks to researching about the company that you're applying for. So if you've done your research, if you have looked through the needs of the organization that's via the description and the requirements, then you can now design your CV to portray the values of the organization, to portray the need of the organization. I don't know if that makes sense. Right? Now, the next one is adaptability to digital skills. Adaptability to digital skills here means that, let's use this particular training, for example. I know you guys have learned a lot. I know you've learned a lot. This is not the first cohort that has been designed by the Hilton faculty body. And I'm sure that they've helped a lot of people into the space of the job market, rather. So for you to become adaptable, thank you very much, Grace. For your CV to become adaptable, for you to become or portray adaptability, you need to portray it or display it in your skills, in your CV, rather. You've learned about blockchain, you've learned about analysis. What else have you guys learned about in this particular cohort? All the things that you've learned, you've grown, right? The you that started this training is not the you right now. You started this training with a blank mind. You've started this training with a constraint in understanding how certain things works. But now you've expanded. Now your mind is beyond how it used to be. How do you let me, as a recruiter, to know that you've grown in this aspect? Is by following that trend of learning. Consistent learning is required. So you need to understand that there are different tools and there are different digital skills that is required to be learned, even in the legal space. I'm sure all of the things that have been spoken in this cohort is relating to your legal space. So it is something that you can most definitely include in your CV, right? So now, digitalization in the aspect of law. Now I'm speaking specifically to law because almost everybody here, they are legal practitioners. You have tools that can help to enhance your proficiency, your efficiency, and productivity. You have case management softwares like, I don't know if you guys have heard of Clio. There's Clio, there's Practice Panther, and so on. That's for case management. You also have digital tools like for document management system, tools like NetDocument, iManage. You have tools that work for legal research, Westlaw, LexisNexis, and FastCase. Those are softwares that work for legal research tools. You have softwares or digital tools that works for e-discovery. You have legal tools that works for AI and automation. You have AI and automation in speaking to ROSS. I don't know if anybody is aware of ROSS, Ross Intelligence, and Kira Systems. We have tools that work for times and billing, CRM, cybersecurity. So all of these tools are, if you have the opportunity to learn them, you most necessarily would need to include them in your CV. So the reason why we are saying learn this thing and include them is because we want your recruiters to see your aspect of learning, right? For me as a recruiter, I would rather select somebody who focuses more on self-development than somebody who has not even grown over time. Like I said before, any application you want to do, don't choose your previous CV. Okay, the slide has gone. Don't choose your previous CV, right? The CV you used to apply 4 months ago is not even the one that you used to apply now, because different things are coming up. You can hear, you can leave it here. No, leave it on the risks. So you have seen how the system works. I am sure when they tell you that, oh, you want to have a training on how to build an effective CV, you're at the beginning, you would have believed that, oh, is it not just to write a CV? Is it not just to write educational background, do this, do that? But there are a lot to designing a perfect CV. If you meet people that, what's this word? Proofread CVs or revamp CVs. Yes, that's the word I'm looking for. They will charge you because there's a lot that goes into creating CVs for the needs of the applications you are trying to write. But you can also go online, right? You can also go online, and there are a lot of websites that can help you design your CVs to be professionally fit for the needs. Now, we are looking at the risks of sharing personal data. I know most of you that I'm speaking to here, because of I don't blame you. I don't really blame you. I blame the fact that there is a heightened level of unemployment in the country. Any job site that you see, you jump on it and put in all your necessary information. I've seen this over and over again where people will say, oh, they hacked into your LinkedIn because from LinkedIn you tap one site that took you to one www.safewhatever.net.com that is asking for your LinkedIn details or any personal details from that job portal. What I would advise, before we even go into listing the risks, if you are applying for jobs, right? If you are applying for jobs, make sure that that link that you are clicking on is taking you to the official career website of the company you're applying for. Don't turn a blind eye to your application. If you're applying to Deloitte or if you're applying to Jumia, let me use Jumia for example, because I've seen, if you use Facebook a lot, you see all these scams on Facebook that will tell you, oh, we need somebody that can work with Jumia, we'll pay you 45,000, work from home, and so on and so forth. If you click on that link, it takes you to a website where you have to put in your details. And that link is not even taking you to the official Jumia website. So if you see an application link, you click on that link, and it doesn't take you to the official career website of the company, then something is wrong somewhere. Then something is wrong somewhere. If it doesn't take you to the official career website of the company, it will take you to the official website of the outsourcing firm. Because most companies now, they use outsourcers like Indeed, they use outsourcers like LinkedIn also is also an outsourcing means. They use outsourcing firms like Philips Consulting and so on and so forth. So if you're clicking on a particular link, let it ensure that that link is taking you to an official website. And after you have opened it, search for the organization. If the organization is not a popular one, search for that organization on Nairaland. I think Nairaland is one of the best things to happen in Nigeria, a website to happen in Nigeria, because it helps you to know job sites or companies that are scammers, right? So as written on the slides now, it says, while job portals are essential tools for job seekers, sharing personal data on these platforms comes with a risk. Of course, I know there's the need to apply for jobs, but while you're also applying for jobs, you need to take necessary steps so as not to put your information at risk. Some employers would go to the extent of putting in, I don't know if you guys have heard of Nigeria Data Protection, NDPR, Nigeria Data Protection Regulation. So there is a segment in the NDPR that speaks to data protection that employers would always put on their official website, official career website, to let you know that your personal information is safe. So if you see your personal information being shared by that particular website, then you can go ahead and sue them. So that's where the NDPR comes in. Can we go to the listings? I want to explain into the types of risks that we are open to here. Potential risks. You have identity theft. Identity theft means that they can steal your personal information, such as your full name, your address, contact details, and so on. All these informations can be used by malicious people to steal your identity. Do you understand what I'm saying? It even goes long to them finding you home. I'm not saying they will look for you though, but I'm just saying. So it is safer to do your background check. You also have phishing scams. These phishing scams have become very rampant, very, very rampant, because they will send you an email. That's why sometimes you check your email, you see that, oh, you have been invited for this particular interview, log in and so on, for a job that you did not apply for. But because there is this urgency to jump into the job market, you click on it, they ask you for your personal information, you put in your personal information, they now tell you that there is a software that you need to download. You now go ahead and download that document. Automatically, you're putting your information at risk. So there's the phishing scam, there's the data breaches, which job portals would always focus on people who need jobs. Do you understand? So there's the data breach, there's the unsolicited contact, which means that you are sharing your contact information with unwanted people, like unwanted calls, unwanted emails, messages, and so on and so forth. If you see an invite from people who you did not apply for, it is safer to reject such applications than actually go for them. I don't know if that makes sense. Please, am I clear? Are people understanding what I'm saying? Am I too fast? Am I too slow? Are there things that I need to say that I'm not saying? Because I know you people are... Okay, well understood. Thank you very much. Thank you. So is there anything that is unclear to anybody? Because I would like to take you guys along with me as I'm speaking. All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Asosa. Thank you, Obi. All right. Thank you so much. Now, there is also the aspect of employment discrimination, right? There's also the aspect of employment discrimination in terms of age, your gender, ethnicity, and so on and so forth. Sometimes, although it is not advisable for recruiters to put online your requirements focusing on age, gender, or ethnicity. Trust me, as a recruiter, I've learned over time that there's actually been a law in regards to discrimination in job posts. That's why you go on LinkedIn, for example, you will never see any job post on LinkedIn telling you that, oh, you have to be 28 years old, you have to be 19 years old, you have to be younger than 43, you have to be from a Yoruba person, you have to be an English, and so on and so forth, right? There is that process when it comes to the hiring. So any job post that is requesting for your age, your gender, your ethnicity, trust me when I tell you that particular job process would have a sense of discrimination. Do you get what I'm saying? Because in every hiring process, of course, if I'm looking for a female client experience person or a female legal officer, I'm not going to come out on LinkedIn and say, oh, you must be a female, right? I'm not coming to tell you that you must be a female. I'll put the job post out there and I select whomever I want to select who is a female. That's why I'll call you, talk to you. If you're a female, I bring you in. So any information as regarding age, gender, ethnicity, all of these things can even limit you as an applicant. Because if I'm saying that, oh, I need somebody that is lesser than 28, and older than 28, and you are just 26 years old, and there's a sector in the job post or in the form rather that says, okay, how old are you? Automatically, you're going to lose the job process or the application process because you're not as old as 28. So all of this information risks are mostly avoidable if you're able to do your due diligence. Due diligence meaning that you do your background check. Don't apply to every link you see online. Every link that has a sweet remuneration is not the link for you. Do you understand? If the link doesn't take you to the official career page of the company, please do not apply. Please do not apply, right? So can we go to the next slide? Yeah, so now we have benefits of CV customization. Can we move on? Right. So I'm supposed to give a breakdown into everything that we have learned, but seeing that everything is okay, somebody is saying doesn't understand. Can we go back to that slide, please? Miss Summer said she doesn't understand unsolicited contracts. Okay, let me go over that. Now, if you check some recruitment processes, right? Some recruiters or some companies that you did not engage with. Let me give you an example. For a year before I became an HR person, my experience has always been that I love to teach. I graduated from University of Lagos. I studied educational foundation. And in educational foundation, we teach a lot. So I started my career as a teacher, right? I taught in NYSC. I taught after NYSC. So in my process of getting into human resources, I've applied for places, or applied to places rather. And all of these places that I've applied to, I have a record of all of them. So if you call me and you're telling me that, oh, you're from XYZ consulting firm, and you're telling me that I applied to your company, and in my record, your names are not there, I won't call on you because I don't have your list amongst the people that I have reached out to. Unsolicited means that you did not engage with them. I didn't even apply to your company. I've not spoken with your HR. I've not spoken with anybody in your company, but you're sending me email. that I'm being invited for an interview, or that I should click on this particular link because I've been selected as one of the top 10 to be employed to the position of a criminal lawyer or an assistant legal, when I didn't even apply to your company in the first place. So I'm not saying there's no place for referral. If somebody refers me to you, you call me and tell me that, oh, somebody referred you to me. Who is the person that referred you? Tell me the person's name. If the person's name doesn't ring a bell, you are getting hung up on. Do you understand what I'm saying? So the unsolicitation here, or the unsolicited contact here, means that you've not engaged with them and you are getting unwanted calls, unwanted emails, unwanted messages from the recruiters, and they're telling you to click on links or join a particular Zoom link. I don't know if that's clear. Okay, so Ms. Omar says it's clear. All right, so we can, all right, thank you very much, Ms. Omar. Big thumbs up. So we can move to understanding the importance of CV customization. Now, I don't want to beat over this. I know I'm supposed to, the class is supposed to end by, if my class is supposed to end by 1:30. I know my class is supposed to end by 1:30, but I will try to be as quick as I can. So we have 5 different pointers here. First thing I've said before, analyze the job description. In every job description, the need of the organization is boldly written. You cannot tell me that you are seeing a job description for somebody who is looking for a head company secretary who has clearly stated that they want somebody with 10 years of experience in the financial space, 4 years in the managerial position, and 2 years probably with international experience, and so on and so forth. That description, I've told you the need. So it would be stressful and hopeless for you who have 8 years of experience, not even up to 4 years of experience in managerial position, and no experience with international companies. So that's where the process of analyzing job description comes in. In the job description, you see the requirements, you see the skills, you see qualifications that are necessary. As an HR professional, my climb to the position that I am right now, right, it's not because I just see any job position and apply for it. Do you understand what I'm saying? I do less of application. Most of my jobs that I've gotten are basically on referrals. Do you get what I'm saying? But if you're applying for certain jobs, analyze the job descriptions first and then apply. Analyze the job description, build your CVs to fit it. Don't just analyze the job description and then apply. Because I've seen a lot of applications. You see people that would apply for the position of senior legal, junior legal, and also assistant legal at the same time. Do you understand? And the needs of these 3 are different. You can apply to the same organization within 3 different roles. But as long as your CV speaks to the need of those roles, of course, sure, you can apply for them. You can apply to the same roles in 2 different organizations. All that you need to do is analyze, fix, and push. I hope that's clear. Now you have identifying key skills and requirements. We're going over that over and over again. Customization of professional summary, objective, and skill section. We all know what a professional summary is. If you don't know what professional summary is right now, then probably I'm not being clear enough. Right? I'll go over it. Professional summary is a summary of your experience, right? Your professionalism. You as a legal person, what do you want me to know about you in summary? That's just what it is, right? We also have adjusting of work experience and achievement. Adjusting of work experience and achievement. Firstly, we are speaking to relevance. Relevance in the sense that you are highlighting the most relevant work experiences and achievements to make sure that your recruiter sees it. The reason why we are speaking to customization of CV and formatting of CV is not even because of, well, it is because of you as well, and it's also because of the recruiter. You will see some CVs, that they only display or give more explanations into their previous experience that speaks to the job. So let's say, sorry, I'll keep using myself as an example because it's easier for me. let's say I'm applying for a position of group head, human resource, West Africa, right? Now I have gone to my CVs. I've gone to my CV. Or I have experience as a teacher. Let's just example, I have experience as a teacher. I have experience as a customer service personnel. I have experience as a, what else can I use? As a supply chain analyst. I now have other years of experience in HR. Even if the years of experience that I have in these different things are more than my years of experience in human resource, what I would display to the recruiter would be more of my years of experience in human resource, while other experiences can now be, I can now label or put bullet points to the other teaching, supply chain, and customer service experience. I don't know if that's clear. Right? Is that clear? Do you guys understand what I just said? Or do I need to go over it again? All right. Thank you very much. So the last part says, thank you, Mr. Mo. Last part says showcasing relevant achievements and experiences. Okay, so Jennifer is saying, okay, which point do you want me to go over again? I'm seeing somebody saying I should go over it. What aspects do you want me to go over again? Inimicit. That's the name of one of my friends who also studied law. Inimicit, yeah. That just sounds very familiar. All right. Adjustment. Who can speak to adjustment? Okay, adjustment of work experience and achievement. Is that what we are looking at? Jennifer.
Okay. All right. She said yes.
Okay. All right. So 2 people are requesting to go over adjustment of work experience and achievement and customizing professional summary, objectives, and skills section. Right? Like I explained before, let's choose the customizing of professional summary first, so that we'll follow through to the adjusting of work experience. Now, remember at the beginning, I said we need to focus on, your CV is more of a first impression. How can a recruiter tell who you are? First impression means that the recruiter can automatically tell your value proposition by looking at your CV. Looking at your CV, first glance, within 10 to 15 seconds, I check your professional summary. I tell who you are automatically. So the professional summary or objective is one of the first sections that the recruiters will read. So if you are customizing your professional summary, you need to ensure that you make a strong first impression by immediately addressing employers' needs. Everything that has to do with CV is the employer's needs. So if your professional summary is speaking to the employer's need of another company, which is not the one you are currently employing to, then there's a problem. If you are applying to Ernst & Young, their need is somebody of high value, somebody who is detail-oriented, somebody who has experience with closing up to 60% cases. And in your professional summary, let's say previously you applied to, let's say Gsvvimp as a legal officer, and the need of Gsvvimp is saying they want somebody who has done, let's say 50% and above, close 50% cases, somebody who is a research analyst. You see, there are 2 different needs. So if you pick a CV that you used to apply to Gsvvimp and you send it to Ernst & Young, remember the need of Ernst & Young is 60%, somebody that has done above 60%, and somebody who is detail-oriented and somebody who has proper value proposition, right? If you take the CV with the professional summary used for Gsvvimp, and you apply the same to Ernest & Young, you have lost it. Because at the first glance, I can already see that you only did 50% and below. Do you understand what I'm saying? So customizing professional summary means that you are giving the employer what they need. So at a glance, they can easily tell who you are. I'm an HR person, I'm enthusiastic about people. I love to build people, self-development, put people in a position where they feel like they belong to the organization. I build competency in people, training and development, and all of those things. Those are professional summaries, and they would be designed to meet the need of the employer. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So the focus here, first impression. Secondly, specificity. So the tailoring of your CV means that you need to rewrite it. For each of the applications you are doing, you need to rewrite your professional summary to fit the job experience or job requirement that you're applying to. Is that clear? Jennifer? I hope I've been able to explain that. Okay. All right. Thank you. And then adjusting, okay, it wasn't Jennifer that asked that. And then adjusting work experience and achievement. This means, like I said before, focusing on relevance, focusing on impact, right? You need to show your recruiter the required experience. Let's say, how do I explain it to make it more easier? Let's say in 2018, I worked as an HR intern on a team lead, human resources. In 2020, I left human resource, went to supply chain. I worked in supply chain for 1 year. In 2021 to 2023, I functioned as a group head, human resource. 2024, I also functioned as a group head, human resource in another company. Now I'm applying for group head West Africa in another company. What my CV is expected to display is all of my HR experiences. HR experiences that will lead to portraying to the recruiter my relevance to the job. So you can see that in 2018, I was a team lead, human resource. 2020, I worked as a supply chain analyst. So what I'm going to be sending is not, I'm not going to be including supply chain because that's not the requirement, or it's not in relevance to the job. Do you understand what I'm saying? So other experience, you can now have another section that says other experience, supply chain, and put in the year. But in relevance to the need of the organization, it is all my HR experience. For you, example, who are legal practitioners, if you're applying to any job role, the experience that they'll be required to see or you'll be required to post in your CV are experiences that are in orderance with the need. I don't know if that's clear. So you need to make use of keywords. You need to highlight relevant key achievements, and it has to be in reverse chronological order. Regardless of if there is a job gap, it has to be in reverse chronological order from most recent to the least recent. I don't know if that's clear. I think this is for Jennifer now. Jennifer, is that clear? I think Jennifer has gone to sleep. Is Jennifer sleeping? Okay, I think Jennifer has gone to rest. She went to eat. Okay, are we all good with this part now? So that we can move on. Okay, all right. Thank you very much. So can you move to the next slide? We still have quite a number to go. Okay, I think we're almost done. So the next slide is speaking to design and presentation. Design and presentation means you're choosing the right font, right? Font size and formatting. Formatting, we are speaking to the chronological, or rather combined formatting style and targeted style. Combined formatting style, meaning that you are combining the chronological style of CV writing and the functional style of CV writing, inclusive of the targeted style of CV writing. That's what gives you a proper CV. Now, in terms of design, we're speaking to the right font. If you do CV, if you're writing your CV or you are designing your CV and you're using calligraphy, all those fonts that they use for wedding invites, there's a problem. Because remember, one of the ways you create an effective CV is when it is easy for the recruiters to read. If you can read calligraphy, doesn't mean that the recruiter has the time to be squinting his eyes to see where S starts from, all of those things. It is advisable to use simple fonts. Remember I said, if you're starting your headliners with, let's say, Calibri body light, font 18 for your headliners. And for your pointers, you are using Calibri light font 12. Keep the consistency. I don't want to see, as a recruiter, I would not love to see two different fonts. You are using Calibri body light for the headliners, for one particular headliner. For the next headliner, you are now using which other one? Sergio, or you're using Human BT 521. Then there's no consistency. Remember I said at the beginning, we are speaking to personal brand. And in personal branding, we are also speaking to consistency in professionalism all around. So the same font size you use is the same font size you use for each of the bulletins. The same font size you use for one headliner is the same font size you use for the remaining headliner. Now, for the next, number 2, organizing information effectively. Arrange your sections in logical order and use clear headliners. Your headliners and subheadings will need to be clear and readable. Please don't use a font size that I'll have to zoom in before I can read. Remember, time frame of CV spooling, 5 to 10 seconds, 10 to 15 seconds. You're done. So if you are giving me stress as an applicant, you will remain in the pool. That's why you keep wondering, why have they not called me? Why has my application is not been going through? For those of you that go to church, you start going to church and pray. For those of you that go to mosque, you go to mosque and pray. The problem is your CV has not been properly designed. Do you understand what I'm saying? And number 3 speaks to using of bullets and white space. I gave you an example when we were speaking to that CV sample during the educational sector. So you need to put things in bullets so that it is properly seen, so that it separates. Some of the things that you put in bullets are your, what's this thing called? Your deliverables, right? If you function as an intern, what did you do as an intern? What was your responsibility? Those ones can be put in bullet points. So if you have your job functions without bullet points, and you put your responsibilities without bullet points as well, it creates that form of non-readability. And that doesn't speak professionalism, which takes us to number 4, ensuring of consistency and professionalism. Consistency in meaning that you are keeping the same font size, keeping the same value proposition, all 3. Professionalism means that you are showing a height of understanding of the business need. You are showing a height of value proposition. You are showing a height of the need in aspect of culture fitness. Right? Professionalism speaks to a lot of things. So your CV design and presentation needs to be consistent and also needs to be professional. Right? If you can go as far as getting the official font and font size of the company that you are applying to, get it. Format your CV in that font and font size and work with it. Do you understand what I'm saying? All what we are trying to do is to gain the interest. Okay, somebody's asking a question saying, using the design of a CV created or drafted by an app, despite the small font, is it good? Well, there are some apps that works, but if you realize that the font size of the app you're using is too small, then please don't use it. Because recruiters will not want to, they don't care. We don't want to know what app you use to create your CV. We don't care if it is an app that does it, or if it is you that did it yourself. All we want to just see is clarity and readability. So if you use an application and the font size are too small for even you to read, then there's a problem. Skip it. Go to another application. Do you understand? And then use that font size instead. Or you can copy that same CD, paste in your Word document. If it gives you the same format, you can increase the font size. If you are able to increase the font size, then go ahead and increase it. But don't use a font size that is too small to be to read. We have never gotten to questions. I'm already seeing 2 extra questions. Okay, somebody is saying, sir, please, can you explain the bullet again? I didn't get, okay. So for the bulletins, what I mean by bullet points, everybody knows what bullet point means. Bullet point is to highlight subdivision. So let's say I'm showing, I don't know if we can go to that CV, educational background. Grace, please, for the purpose of learning, can we go back to educational background of that CV? Go back, more. Again. Oh, okay. Keep going. No, keep going backwards. Okay. Yeah, you can leave it here. No. Okay. Anyway, fine. All right. Thank you. So, Elizabeth, according to what you see, experience / internship, that's the person's professional experience. The bullet points here is showing you the person's deliverables. So what the bullet does is that it helps us to differentiate the functions, which the person's job role, rather, which is research intern. He worked as first class legal associate. That's the name of the company. He works as a research intern. Now, the deliverables are now put into bullet points to help you differentiate it from the job role and the organization. The purpose of the bullet here is for clarity and readability. You will see that if he didn't include bullet points, and let's say the fact that he even shaded the job position and the company helps it to be better, right? If he even takes out the bullet points, probably the recruiter can easily tell because there's a difference in coloring and shading. But in a situation where there's no bullet points, there's no shading, it becomes confusing for the recruiter to easily tell what the deliverables are. So in a aspect where you are speaking to achievement, if there are no bullet points, it's difficult for me to know where a certain achievement stops. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So if there are no bullet points, it feels like they're just words. No differentiation between your actuals from your positions. I don't know, does that help? The function of the bullet there is just to differentiate and to help with readability. It's just to help it being accessible. Can we go back to the current slide that we're on? I hope that's understandable. Elizabeth. All right. So Leone, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Can you use the same font size for both headliners and bullet points? It's advisable not to. It's advisable not to, because your headliners are mostly written in capital letter, and your subheadliners are bolded, right? I would advise for context-based, your headliner, which is the sections, education, skills, and achievements, should be written in all caps, either bold or light, whichever, bigger. Your subheadliner should be written lesser than the headliner. And then the job functions can now be written in lesser font. I don't know if that's clear. So it's advisable not to use the same font. I said somebody was looking. It's advisable not to use the same font for your headliners. It's advisable not to use the same font for your headliners for your bullet points. It's advisable. It is really advisable so that it doesn't cause. It would not even look nice. Trust me, it would not look nice. You can try it and see it. It would definitely would not be presentable because literally we are speaking to design and presentation, so it wouldn't be presentable. So for your headliners, use a bigger font. For your sub headliners, use a lesser font, and then for your bullet points, you can use the same font for your sub headliners for your bullets, but put your sub headliners in bold. I mean, bolding it, and put your bullet points in normal text without bolding. I don't know if that's clear. Leonie, are you clear with that? So that I can move on. Because it's already 1:55. I want to try to complete everything before 2. My class was for 1 hour, 30 minutes. Leonie, is that clear? Leonie has gone to eat. Why is everybody hungry? Okay. So where were we? Okay, using of bullets and white space for clarity. All right. Thank you very much, Anne. Thank you very much, Tim. So the next point we have here is ensuring consistency. Okay, we've spoken about ensuring consistency and professionalism, and then incorporating a visual element. Well, this part is not just like it says, if applicable, right? Most of the times, people use this when they are speaking to achievement levels in terms of digital tools. So if you can use ROS, for example, what level are you at? The basic, or are you at intermediate, or are you at expert level? So all of those icons can be used. You see some CVs that has bar charts, some have column charts, some have star icons, thumbs up icons. Some of them are easy to use, but it's not compulsory. Neither is it necessary, nor is it not necessary. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you could use it, you could incorporate it into your CV. So can we go to the next slide? Let's see if we can close up on everything before. All right, common misconception. I'm going to rush through this because I have 3 minutes more. I'm 30 minutes above my time already. So I want to try as much as possible to be quick as possible. So common misconception is that the longer your CV, the better. Wrong. Like I said, recruiters don't have much time to be reviewing your CV. Maximum number of seconds that recruiters will use for CV review is 15 seconds. So if your CV is 10 pages, like a thesis, you are staying in the pool, my dear. You're not going beyond the pool phase. So if you want to move from, let me tell you something. Let me shock you. I told you I started my career as a teacher. There was a time I tried to revamp my CV rather, while I was in NYS. I gave it to somebody to revamp for me. Unknowingly, this particular person did my CV into 5 pages. The idea that I had was that, oh, if I give my recruiters more things to read, they will know that I'm serious about my CV. Nothing. Didn't get a job. I was searching for a job until I gave my CV to a friend of mine who was in the HR sector before I joined. She helped to edit my CV, sent it back to me for me to make an application. Then I applied back into our company. I surprised her. Applied back into our company, and that was my first job, which is Power Nigeria. That was my first job because I was able to change my CV. So if you are the kind of person that still thinks that you keep your CV on 5 pages and recruiters will have the time to be going through, you're wrong. Go. There's no time. The lesser, the better, right? And then there's also misconception in regards to one CV fits all. I said it before. Don't use the same CV that you used to apply for, even if it is the same role for 2 different companies. Their needs are different. They've conducted job needs analysis and have created a job description and job requirement. One CV doesn't fit all. So what should be the maximum number? Your maximum number of pages would depend on your experience. Even if you have 10 years of experience, I don't expect your CVs. The highest number of experience I've seen, the highest number of experience I've seen is 23, 24. And the number of pages of their CV was 4 pages. 4 pages because they dug more into their achievements. It wasn't even an explanation on what they did, their job deliverables. It was more on their achievements. So if you are just starting, I am not expecting to see 2 pages of CV. If you are just entering into the job sector, I'm not expecting to see 2 pages of CV. Do you understand? If you can keep it to 1, you're good. If you have 2 years of experience, if you can keep it to 1 or 2, you're fine. 3 is okay if you have achieved a lot and you want to, and is relating to, it's relevant to the job that you're applying for, then yeah, sure, you're fine. But within 5 to 10 years of experience, I don't think you should be getting more than 4 pages. But if you are lesser than 4 pages is even too much, keep it at 3. If you can try to keep it at 3, keep it at 3. But I've seen some good CVs that have 4 pages. And that's because they are 20, 23, 24 years of experience. Is it okay to use one? Somebody else is asking questions. You guys are already asking questions now. Once we finish this class, there's no room for question and answers. So somebody's asking. Okay, let me see. Somebody's asking, sir, is it okay to use one CV whenever you want to make applications for an internship, but you always review and edit that particular CV to the interest and services of the firm? Yes. Yes. You can use one CV. The CV doesn't change, you know. The CV is still the same. Do you understand? But all you just need to do is, just like you have said, review and edit that CV to the interest and service requisition of the firm you wish to make applications to. Right? You can use that same CV. The same CV works. There's nothing that says you can't use that same CV. It's a document. I'm not saying that when you create one particular CV now to apply to, let's say Hilton top solicitor is recruiting for a legal assistant. You apply to Hilton, for example. You now want to apply to somewhere else. You now want to build another CV again. No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, check the job needs, the job requirements. The same CV that you use for Hilton Top, edit it, review, revamp, then push. I don't know if that's clear. So you can use the same CV. Miss Soma. Somebody else is saying, which app or website can I use for writing a professional CV? I can't specifically speak to that because there are a lot of CV. This one, the one that I use for this particular one is resumeod.com. So there are a lot. So if the CV is designed to display the certain things that we have discussed in this session, then it's fine. You can use it. You can go online. There are a lot of There are a lot of professional websites that can help you with that. A lot of questions are coming in. So star, you can go online, check for any professional, any website that can help with that. I can't specifically say, unless you want to give people to help you with VAMP, then you can go ahead and do that. But if you want something that is done for you for free, then you can definitely go ahead to check for websites. There are a lot of websites now. So Esosa is saying, okay, good afternoon, sir. Thank you so much for the session. Thank you to Esosa. Is it necessary to add one secondary school education under education? I would not say. That's one question I've never heard anybody asking. But I would advise you to keep it calm, right? If you're going to be inputting your secondary school education, you can just make it one, just like the example that I gave. Let's say you went to Bells College or whichever high school you went to. You can just put it Bells College 2015. That's just for recruiters to be able to track your educational progress. So yeah, sure, you can put it, but it should not be too expressive. Don't tell us you passed 5 papers in your WAEC, or tell us the subjects that you did. If you can just make it as expressive as, that's expressive. You can just make it as concise. The name of your school, right? And the year. That's all. So yeah, that can work. So Esosa, I've answered you. We have Nesuma again saying, thank you very much, sir. I was asking because from what you said that we shouldn't use the same. Oh, I think you got me wrong, Esosa. When I say don't use the same CV, I'm not saying don't use the same document. I'm saying don't use the same CV because, like the definition says, CV speaks to your skills and achievements. The skills and achievements that is required by company A is not the same that is required by company B. So you can still use the same document. That's what I was trying. That's what I'm saying, Ms. Omar. So Intem is saying, thank you so much, sir. Learning a lot. Mr. Can headliners be colored? Yes. If it will be the same color that you are using throughout, yes, it can be colored. I'm not saying use that headliner's color for your bullets. So no. If your headliner is going to be dark colored blue, keep all your headliners as that colored blue. Does that make sense? Because you are going to be presenting your paper or your CV on a white sheet. You can put your headliners on that color blue, while the rest are black. I hope that speaks to that. Do we add our awards to our CV? If the awards speaks to the job you're applying to, then yes. If it doesn't, don't. Right? If your company awards you as the earliest comer, right? The first person to always come to the office, and you're applying for head of legal, do you think it counts? It doesn't count. If you are awarded, or if you are given an award of most closed cases, or anything that just relates to the job, then you can add. But as long as it speaks to the need, then you can go ahead and include it. But if it doesn't, there's no need. Keep it out. Do you understand? Yes. Also, the same also work with certificate. You guys don't allow me to finish this still. At the rate of which these questions are coming in, I only have a few minutes, right? In the case of certification, it works. No, I will not advise you to include seminars. I don't advise you to include seminars. Seminars are not, they're not really required. They're not really required. Unless if it was a project that you manage, a seminar that you worked on by yourself, then you can include. But if it's a seminar that you attended, people can attend thousands of seminars. Don't include that in your CV. Please, sir, is the award scenario also the same with certificates? Yes, you can do the same with certifications. If there are certifications that are in relations with the job you're applying for, sure, you can go ahead and include it. You can go ahead and include it. But if it is not, please don't. Do you understand? And then keep the same rule of headliner, sub-headliner, and pointers, bullet points. Do you understand? As long as you keep the same rule, you're fine. Can I move on now? Iyolua. Iyolua is asking, okay, thank you so much for this great session. All right. What if a person has no internship experience and, for example, is willing to intern for a law firm? With what will he or she put down as an experience in the CV? So for those of you who have no internship experience, right, what recruiters will literally look at are your certifications and trainings. Yes, your certifications and trainings. Like this particular type of training now, there is this kind of cohort that is relates to the legal space. You can include it to your CV, right? So for interns, we understand that interns don't have any experience. They don't have any practical job experience. So you can include non-traditional experience, which is things that you might have done in your uni days that are in relations with your experience. Include the functions or the things that you did during your uni days that are in relations, but non-traditional experience. I would not really advise for seasonal professionals, don't include those. But for those of you who have not even started at all, are looking to work into an intern, then you can include it and also include certifications. Yeah, so that works. If you're adding, so Olamide is asking, if we are adding the certificate/award, what order should it be placed? Like, where can we place it on the CV? You can put it, you can literally put it anywhere after the professional background or professional experience. You can place it anywhere after professional experience. If you take the CV as an example, the first thing you see is the contact details, professional summary, skills. No, it wasn't skills. Skills after. I mean, work experience, then projects. So you can either, okay, educational experience, work experience, then other achievements and so on. So if you want to include certifications, you can include certifications with education, right? You can include certifications with education. That's before professional summary. Or if you're going to be making it certification and award, then you cannot put it after professional summary. Because the first thing that they want to see on your first page is your, professional experience, rather, not professional summary, professional experience. The first thing they want to see is your professional summary and your work experience, right? So those are the first things they want to see in your CV while they open your CV. So yes, that's the order. I recently heard that it is not good to put in year of graduation as they allow recruiters to. That's not true. To reduce qualifications to your years of practice. I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true. Somebody is asking, somebody is saying, I recently heard that it is not good to put in year of graduation as it allows recruiters to reduce qualifications to your years of practice. That's why I said, I want to try to understand your question. If you're speaking to recruiters putting you back to the pool because you don't meet the years of experience, that's your fault because you didn't do due diligence to taking the required years of experience. If you, recruiters will count your years of experience starting from, it's never starting from your year of graduation. You don't make that mistake. It's never started from your years of graduation. Sometimes, most times rather, we start from after completion of NYS. So if you're telling me you have 4 years of experience as a legal practitioner, that means after your service, you've worked for 4 years. So it's not, no, I don't think it's bad or wrong to include your year of graduation. If you are speaking BSc, yeah, it's not wrong, no. I don't know where you got that from. because it's not wrong to include the year of graduation. Okay, Iyoluwa is saying thank you very much, sir. Understood. All right, so let's move on. I know I have answered almost all your questions. Please don't ask questions again. No, I'm just joking. If you have more questions, bring it up while I focus on the slides. So back to pitfalls and mistakes. You have inconsistent formatting. We spoken about that in terms of your text, your font size, font style, lack of quantifiable achievement. Remember, always use metrics. Always use metrics. Oh, was this what I was talking about before? Pause. Okay, I think. All right, let's speak to the pitfalls now. Thank you very much, Grace, for bringing me here. Let's speak to the pitfalls. I was speaking about misconceptions. So now, pitfalls. Number one, excessive length. Like I've said it in the previous slide. Irrelevant information. What are irrelevant information? I'll see CVs, you tell me your age, you're telling me you are the fourth child in amongst 5 children. You were telling me your marital status, your hobbies. You don't need that. Your age is not needed. Marital status is not needed. To an extent, your year of birth, okay, that will not tell us your age. Your hobbies, new intakes. I know I've seen a lot of interns putting in hobbies. Oh, I love to read. The excitement. I know you guys are quite excited to enter into the job space. But don't include your hobbies. You don't need your hobbies. Do you understand? Probably during the interview, they ask you, oh, what do you do outside work? Then you can now say, oh, I love to read. Questions about what do you do outside work is a culture fitness question to ask to know or to gain insight if you are fit culture-wise, right? So, all irrelevant information, not required. Spelling and grammar errors. For every editing that you do, for every revamp that you do, you need to proofread. Just like they always say, 2 eyes are better at proofreading a particular document. You can proofread it and not see an error. Give it to another person, let them read, and help you to go through if there are any errors in the CVs. Overly complex language. Please stop where I'm coming. I will come to you. I want to finish up on time. Overly complex language. Don't use big grammars. Don't use big grammars. Don't use complex, what's it called? Balances. I know you want to show us that you are a legal practitioner. I know. But don't use balances that are too complex, right? Don't use balances that would make it difficult for the recruiter to, because recruiters are not legal practitioners. Do you understand? So don't use complex balances that are too difficult. Even if it's complex, it's too difficult to understand, right? Now we've spoken about inconsistent formatting, lack of quantifiable achievements. Use metrics where we are speaking to numbers, percentages. Omitting of key information. Key information means keywords. ATS adaptability. We've spoken about that as well. Ignoring tailoring. Tailoring means you are drafting your CV to fit certain job needs. I hope that makes sense. Tailoring it to job needs, tailoring to company needs. Unprofessional email addresses. Aha. This part, I think I spoke about it last time too. Those of you that have prettyprincess115@gmail.com, which other one? I'm trying to remember any. So keep your email address professional as possible, right? If you don't have an email address that's professional, it's going to open an email address. Professional emails like summary.mayowa@gmail.com, t_mayowa@gmail.com, summary_m@mayowa@gmail.com. Those are professional email addresses, right? So don't come up and say slimfish big daddy at gmail.com or slimfish sexy lady at whatever. Those ones are unprofessional and it can portray the wrong value proposition to the recruiter. Now, including of references, please don't include your references unless you are being requested of by the recruiter. I hope that's. Do we have any other thing on the slide? Grace, can you go to The next slide, please. Oh, okay. I said I was going to give a briefing into cover letters. Do I still have that time? Do we do briefing into cover letters, or do we just end it because of the time? I know you guys have a lot of things to do, and I would not want to rob you of your time. Grace, are you there?
Mario, I guess you can quickly run through in if
Okay.
the CPU can kind of collapse it.
Yes,
So
I
give
am.
like a
Sorry, I didn't know I
summary.
was muted.
Okay. So we can let's just briefly look into what a cover letter is, right? Most of the times when you apply for jobs, right, your recruiters always request that you include a cover letter. Now, a cover letter is a summary of yourself where you are explaining to the recruiters your experience, achievements, and your values. It's just like your CV, but in more summary. So here, there is no bullet point, there is no headliners, no all those things, those designs, there's nothing here. So all we need to focus on is 4 pointers, 4 or 5, right? The first one is the header. Now, the header of your cover letter would include your name, your address, the phone number, email address. Now, all of these things would be aligned to the top of the page, right? Just as you saw the personal information of that CV, it will be at the top of the page. Now, below your contact information, you include the date, the current date you are applying, and then the recipient's name. If you are applying to Hilton Top Solicitors for the role of legal head, put in their address, right? The recipient's name, the title, the company, and the address. Just like I see you're writing a letter, right? Now, the reason why I'm asking this format be like this is because it helps to maintain professional appearance. It's not necessarily any reason for the arrangement, but it just makes it look more professional. Now, the next paragraph or the next thing is the greetings. Right now, you need to now address your cover letter to a specific person. Either whomever, if you know the name of the person you are sending your cover letter to, you say, "Dear Tomori Mayowa," or "Dear John," "Dear Mr. Mayowa," "Dear Mr. Johnson," whichever, right? That's the addressing aspect. Or if you cannot find the specific name, you can just use "Dear Hiring Manager" or "Dear Hiring Team." You know, that one also works. So after that is stated, you can now put in your opening paragraph. So the reason why we are asking for you to personalize the greeting is because it tells the recruiter that you have done your research and you are genuinely interested in the position, right? So now, opening paragraph is the next paragraph the next line of words that come after the greetings, right? Now, this paragraph would now be the type that is engaging and straight to the point. You can start. I don't know if I'm being heard. Okay. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Oh, okay. So there's, I had a glitch with my network. So there's the opening paragraph where you would now be stating the position of which you're applying for and probably where you find the job listing. For example, I'm writing to apply for, let's say, corporate attorney position at www law firm as advertised on your website or as advertised on LinkedIn, whichever one. Then the next paragraph that comes is now the body paragraphs. The body paragraphs or the body of your cover letter would now consist of between 1 to 3 paragraphs, which would provide detailed evidence. Remember, quantifiably, Now, this particular evidence will now speak to your qualifications and how you fit to the role. You're highlighting your experiences, highlighting skills, highlighting the accomplishments in relevance to the role. Let me give you an instance, right? In my current role at Legal Services, I successfully led a team in negotiating a multi-million-dollar merger, resulting in 20% increase in client satisfaction and a 15% reduction in legal costs. My ability to manage complex legal projects and my dedication to client services make me an ideal candidate for the position. So you can see now that we are speaking to your capacities and we're speaking to your willingness and enthusiasm to join the team. Now, after the body of paragraph, remember, this one is just a briefing. It can be as more as 1 to 2 paragraphs, right? Now, after that, it's now the closing paragraph. Now, the closing paragraph would now be where you would reiterate your interest in the position and the organization, then summarize what you bring to the table in terms of your role and express your enthusiasm. Another example is, I'm enthusiastic about the position of joining your team, or the possibilities of joining your team rather, and contributing to your continued success. I look forward to the opportunity to discuss how my background, skills, and certifications will be an asset to your firm. Thank you for considering my application. I'm available at earliest convenience. Then you leave in your email address and phone numbers so that you are easily contacted. So I don't know. That's just the 5 aspects. First, the header contains your name and necessary information, your phone number and address. Greetings, dear sir, dear Mr. Mayowa, dear Mrs. Okay, somebody is saying I highlight more on the introductory page. When you say introductory paragraph, what do you mean by introductory paragraph? Are you speaking about the greetings or the opening paragraph? Somebody just asked the question now. Jennifer, okay, the opening paragraph. So the opening paragraph, just like I said, is meant to be engaging. It's meant to pull the attention of the recruiter, right? You start by stating the position you are applying for, right? And where you find or where you found the job listing. So the opening paragraph is going to be describing, oh, I am applying for the position of legal advisor. I'm writing to apply for the position of corporate attorney. I'm writing to apply for the position of head human resources / legal. I'm writing to apply for whatever the role might be at Hilton Top Solicitors as advertised on LinkedIn or as advertised via your website, right? Now, you can also say, or include rather, with over 5 years of experience in whatever, with over 7 years of experience, with over 3 years of experience, and a proven track record of successful negotiation. So what you are doing here is, I don't want to say toot your horn, but you are literally tooting your horn, right? So you're telling the recruiter the position you're applying for, where you found the job listing, a little bit about your experience and your enthusiasm about the job you're applying to. I don't know if that's clear. I think what we will do, or what I will do rather, is find the time to, my week is always very hooked, to share a sample of a cover letter so that we can get that. So, okay, she says that's clear. All right, thank God that's clear. So let me reiterate the header, the greetings, opening paragraph, which I just explained, the body paragraph, and then the closing remarks or closing paragraph. I hope that's clear. So is there any question? I think there were some questions that there was a question that I skipped further. Okay, talk about, following back to your question, I said, thank you for this insightful session, sir. My question is that, is it necessary for a law student with accounting certifications to include them in their CV? what type of accounting certification? If it is ICANN, if it's those professional ones, yes, you can go ahead. I can work for almost all the job roles. Almost everybody has ICANN, uses ICANN. If it's an ICANN or a generally accepted or recognized certification, yes, you can include it. Yes, yes. Just like I've said, ICANN works, yes. If you have if you are certified, if you are a chartered accountant, you can include it, even as a legal practitioner. Because people know what it takes to complete ICANN. People know what it takes to complete ICANN. So putting in ICANN speaks to your consistency, it speaks to development, it speaks to consistency generally. Because I know how long it takes for people to actually complete ICANN. So if you have an ICANN certification, you can include it. Yeah. So we are looking forward to having the sample when we can. Okay, yes, anytime I'll try as much as I can. I'll try as much as I can to get that across. We have somebody's asking, do we have to end with signature and yours faithfully? You don't necessarily need signature. You don't necessarily need a signature. You can end with yours faithfully, then put in your phone number and email address. Just make sure you end with a contact information, right? Just make sure you end with the contact information. Yours faithfully, Tomori Mayowa, HR practitioner, 090511674, an email address. Do you understand? So that one is better. What is the difference between the cover letter and the professional summary? A professional summary is very brief, 4 lines at max. A cover letter is a brief form of your CV. A cover letter expresses your interest in the job. It tells the employer why he should employ you, right? You know what, that time when they ask you, why do you think you're the best fit for this particular role? That's what your cover letter is. Do you understand what I'm saying? So the cover letter is showing your research in the company, right? Because you most likely would have researched the company before you go ahead to design a cover letter. So that's the difference between the cover letter and the professional summary. A professional summary, very brief, 4 lines, nothing more than 4 lines, 3 lines, whichever one that works. Then cover letter is more expressive, more explanatory. It's like you're going into details of your achievements, your skills, and why you are the best fit for the company. Don't know if that's clear. Leonie. All right. Thank you very much, Sekinat. Is there any other question? I think I'm done with
the questions in the Q&A box. I don't know if.
Okay. Okay, can you please read it to us?
The first question is from an anonymous attendee, and they're asking, how do you write a CV for a person that has no professional experience? Also, is leadership experience important?
How do you write a CV for somebody?
A CV for a person that has no professional experience.
I think I had spoken about that before. For starters or beginners in the field who has 0 to no experience, what your focus would be is on certifications and trainings, right? Because as a recruiter, before I bring you in as an intern, you have to start from somewhere. I don't expect you as a starter to have 5 years of experience. Do you understand? So you need to start from somewhere. And before I bring you in as an intern, you need to show me a sense of responsibility, right? A sense of responsibility speaking to availability to carry out certain tasks and availability to learn and self-develop. So if you have conducted trainings, if you have not even conducted, if you have participated in a training, if you have certifications, you can go ahead and include it. You don't necessarily need to put your professional experience if you don't have any. Just focus on your trainings. And sometimes non-traditional experience, which speaks to some of those things that you've done in the uni, right? In uni, all this voluntary tasks, voluntary works, all of those things are things that will help to tell the recruiter that, okay, this person is willing and carries out both individual and collective responsibility. So I guess that answers that. I don't know if that answers that.
Yes, I think that did. There are about 9 questions here. I don't know if we can take all of them.
9. Whoa.
Madam Deborah, what do you think? Can we take all these questions today?
Well, Mayo, thank you so much. I don't think we might be able to address it, all today, because we still have a session like a Twitter space, our next space by 5, and we can see a large number of the interns are already going off the call. I know they were quite large earlier because this is a very insightful session that we do really appreciate. But I think we could just take maybe 1 or 2 more. But that's why we're still sharing the page of Mayowa here. I advise every one of you to follow up with him. Mayowa, is that okay? So they reach out to you for these other questions that they have. His contact is here, his number is here. His email is here. He's on LinkedIn. So we will share the URL, or you just type Tomori Mayowa and you'll be able to connect with him, right? And of course, we'll share the slide so we can save time for others to be able to go and refresh and join the next session. We very much appreciate the time, right? So maybe we can just pick 1 or 2. What do you think?
Yeah,
what do you
one
think?
or two is fine. One or two is fine.
Okay, Grace, you were going to say something.
I'm seeing some questions that seem to be generating controversy. So I'll ask those 2 questions that it looks like they've had debate about this. I'll ask those 2.
All right.
So Esosa is asking, is it necessary to add 1 secondary school education under the education section of a CV?
One secondary school
education. Should the person add his secondary school education under the education section of the CV? Is it important?
Yes, you can. We can't speak to the importance, right? We can't speak whether it is very important or least important. Like I said before, it's just to help the recruiter to track your educational progress. If you don't include it, we don't need your secondary school qualification or your secondary school whatever. Most recruiters don't. It's not your secondary school qualification that would help us to know where you can function. I don't know if I'm making sense. If you graduated from one secondary school in Lagos State or in Ogun State, it doesn't count. We don't put that into records. What we put into records is either your OND, your HND, your BSc, your master's certification. So if you can go ahead and not include it, nobody's going to hold you against your will. But if you can also do it, there's no wrong or right. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I hope that's clear, Susa.
Yeah. No, okay, I already answered that before. Yeah, I think it was a Susa that actually asked. Yeah, I'd answered that before. Yeah. So can we take the last one?
Rukeme is asking if it's detrimental to write your year of graduation.
If it's detrimental.
To write your year of graduation in your CV.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Year of graduation. I think I've also addressed this.
Really?
I
didn't hear that.
I'd addressed this. I'd address this as well. Year of graduation you can include. If you are including if you're speaking to high school now, you can also include your year of graduation. If you are speaking to uni, you definitely need to include it. 100%. You need to. If you're speaking to uni, you need to.
Okay, I think that's the only one left that you haven't touched. Okay. I think the rest you've touched them.
I think we've touched them.
And the rest, this one, I don't know if you've answered this one. Do I need to use full stop at the end of bullet points in my CV?
You need to use full stop? Not necessarily. They are bullet points now. not necessarily.
All right. The person is saying that he has heard a lot of debate about it.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. Madam Deborah, thank you for arranging this section for us. Thank you. I've learned a lot, and I'm sure a lot of you have learned a lot. I'm sure there's some of you here who have not started writing your CV, because I know there are people here who are in 100 level, 200 level, 300 level. Don't wait till final year to start drafting your CV, because like our presenter said, that one of the things that a good CV will do for you is to give you is goal setting. You won't really know what you need to work on yourself until you start writing your CV. So it will help you in your goal setting, just like our presenter has said. So I really appreciate you, sir, for taking out the time. Your presentation was very thorough. You covered all the aspects of CV writing, and I hope you all paid attention, because our presenter today is a professional human resources expert. And like he said, your application, your job applications will be directed to the human resources department. These are some of the people that will be looking at your CV, and a human resources expert is here to tell you this is what they look out for. So yes, like Chidera said, he is really professional, and he understands his profession very well, and he really gave everything to us free of charge. So we really appreciate you, sir. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Just as Madam has said, so
go ahead, Mayowa, please. Hello, Mayo, are you still there? We can't hear you any longer.
I can't hear either.
Yeah.
Maybe his connection had an issue. Somebody raised their hand. Was it a mistake?
I think I saw Jennifer.
Okay, the hand is down. It's not raised anymore. It must have been a mistake. I suspect he's having issues with his network.
Mayowa, are you still there?
He's not here. He's not even he's not in the session. He just look. I suspect it's really his network that's having
the
issues.
network. So we should have him. I know. Okay. Grace, you can be looking through while I speak. In case he joins, you can upgrade him to the co-host status. I think he has something to say before he got logged out.
Yeah.
All right. So while we're waiting for Mayowa, yeah. So, ladies, I really believe that you did learn a lot. If you have not even learned any other day, which I know that there is no way you can say you didn't learn any other day. Today is the final session. This session you've just had is the final one. And I believe that it was greatly enriching. I mean, for a large number of you, you're going to be dealing with CV writing. Some of you are probably, I know some among these cohorts, we have a large number of undergraduates. We have graduates. Some are already doing their NYSC. Some just completed their NYSC. Some are lawyers already, right? And
Mayowa is back.
Okay, all right, very well. Kindly promote him and let him. Okay, over to you, Mayowa, please. You can speak before I do.
Okay. Thank you very much. Like I was saying, accessibility to me it's not difficult and it's not strenuous, right? Like I was telling you all before that my email is actually kind of clogged up. And if you have any question regarding the topic that has been spoken about today, you can easily reach out to me. I'll respond to you as quickly as I can and as professional as I can. So please take every single, before Madam speaks, take every single thing that you have learned here into account and, hold them as a high point of responsibility, individual responsibility for yourself, and include them in your CVs is very necessary for those of you that are just starting, for those of you who are seasoned professionals as well. Trainings like this are very essential, and it would help in, you know, telling us more into your career advancement possibilities. Right. So thank you very much. Thank you very much, madam, for this opportunity to teach here again. Yeah, that's just all I need to say.
Wow. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Mayo,
sir.
I was just thinking, I said, if we were to probably, you know, talk about fees and paying you, I'm not really, like I tell other industry experts that come to this platform, because God has so graciously, you know, blessed us with industry experts that come with, like, they know their onions and come to dish it all out to us on this platform just for free, just like Grace said earlier, just for free. Like, I really do not know how to pay you back, but I do ask God that he will repay you immensely. And that for one of you who believes in this cause that the Lord has put me to champion, I do believe that your support like this is helping to be able to create the impact that I want to really create, right? I mean, I can't do this alone. And I am eternally grateful for people like you that are always supporting us. And like he said, he's here again. This is not the first time we're having Mayowa with us. And what he has dished out today is nothing short of what we expected. He's always giving it all to us, like we have paid for it. You heard where he was talking about if you need CVs to be looked through or to even have this kind of sessions, in most cases, of course, you have to pay. And the ones that are free, they just give you points that will get you more confused than the time you got into that session or into the class or into trying to pick someone's brain around how you can go about it. Sometimes we take these things for granted because we are probably not paying for it, but I do encourage you, because that's for me, I put my all in everything, whether it's what I'm paying for or the one I'm getting for free. I try to put my all. So if you can approach this with all sense of seriousness and take it like it was something that you had to pay heavily for, I'm sure you will make the very best use of it. Some of you just need that touch up around the service. You are probably looking for positions in the very high places, in the tier 1 law firms, in any of the organizations, whether as an intern, whether as a volunteer, or whether as an established professional already. If you can make use of one or two or everything that you've been taught, whether in this session or any other session, I'm sure you are greatly good to go. And for what you have learned today, I mean, what would have been the course over the course of the years? At the point we were not having this kind of sessions on CV writing, and then we knew that from the feedbacks, a lot of you were clamoring for it. That's why I'm even wondering, I expected that we should have over 300 and all that on the session today, because this is one of the most important sessions. After devoting your time over the course of how many weeks to this training, and you are having a session that is telling you how you can put this together, how you can dot your I's and package everything and brand yourself. It's not enough to know. We have told you action, taking action. This is one of the things that will help you to take action, because there's a way you can get all this whole training after burning your time, your credit, your data, everything that you have put into to achieve all the trainings you've gotten over the past few weeks. And you're not here to know how you can align everything, to tailor it and, you know, revamp your CVs to be able to put yourself out there and get and attract that opportunity that is right for you. Then I feel so pained for those that are not here, but for the rest of you that are here, I say a very big congratulations. And I want you to please help me with your virtual hands. Give a resounding applause to Mr. Tomori Mayowa for this great industry insights that he has shared with us today. I mean, I'm aware of some of the issues that have confronted him between the few days that he was to come between yesterday and today, that would have made it possible not for him. Like, he would have the very best reason not to be available today. I can tell you for free, right? But he said, I do not like to break on promise. That's the word he gave me. And he had to be here. So the thing is that most times people come to dish out for you for free and, you know, contribute to your growth, not because they don't have something that would have taken their time personally or because they are not confronted with any life challenges. But irrespective of that challenge or that request or the other things that clamor for their attentions, they make it a point of duty to be here to just help us build the next generation of women who will be leaders in this digital space and be able to create and attract that opportunity. So enough of the time that women were relegated, or that we probably relegate ourselves, whichever way it is, whether we were or we were responsible or someone was responsible. But now you need the right knowledge. We need to build capacities, and these are part of it. These are part of it, and that's why this is female focused, to get you to be very interested, to know that we are coming to your own space as a woman, to get the necessary knowledge for you to put yourself out there and push yourself out there and be able to grab that opportunity. So thank you so much, Mayowa. You really do not know how much I appreciate this session, and I want to tell you that you are a great mentor. You know what you do, and I personally, I'm always learning whenever you speak. And ladies, it will interest you to know that I met him on another platform where he actually taught us, and I deemed that yes, he should be on my platform to dish out. So like you see, most of the mentors that I have, I don't hide them from you. I bring them. I said, no, this is too much. My ladies need to get this kind of knowledge. That's how it happens. So he's my mentor. I've told you.